Right, Shalom, first and foremost. I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waharakak Wadash, giving double honors to the elders and the apostles, great millstone who I learned the truth from, and to all the faithful locking throughout the four winds, pushing his word in truth and sincerity, continue pushing. And this is going to be a video dealing with World War I. I'm just going to touch up on a couple of verses, but I really want to focus on verse 5. Okay, so I'm going to read verse 5. And I'm going to jump to verse 2, Revelation chapter 9 and verse, matter of fact, I'll start with verse 2, but I want to focus on verse 5, okay? And let's just bring it out. Dealing with history as well, because this is history. World War I already passed. This is history, so we're bringing it out. And this is Revelation chapter 9 and verse 2. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit. And that bottomless pit once again refers to Europe, where World War I was fought in Europe. And there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Yeah, that's speaking about the all-out warfare. Okay, you had Germany, you had Poland, you had Hungary. What else? You had the Japan fighting. You had the, matter of fact, let me type it in. Excuse me. Let's do it from here. My phone. Right, during the conflict, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire, the Central Powers, fought against Great Britain, France, Russia, Italy, Romania, Japan, and the United States, the Allied powers. See? So it's all-out warfare from both sides. And it says here, and he opened the bottomless pit, which is Europe again, because the pit is likened to a land. So World War I was fought and in Europe on land, and it was also fought with fighter jets. And there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Right, so there's blood, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of firepower coming from both sides. And there came out of oh yeah, and let me mention this too. John the Revelator described this the best way he could on the island of Patmos, when he was given these visions by the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai. He described this particular scene the best way he could. Now we could go into the scriptures and break them down and tell you exactly what it is, because the scripture's saying, Daniel's the 12th chapter, the knowledge shall increase, and the Lord what revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets. Amos 3, I believe in 7 or verse 6. So now we could expound on it further, and it says here in verse 3. Matter of fact, I'll touch on verse 3 as well. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth. That's speaking about those fighter jets, because those fighter jets actually look like locusts. There was so many of them in the air. If you type in World War I conflict, you'll see a lot of those locusts or fighter jets in the air. So John the Revelator described it as locusts. And what locusts do? They, you know, like the wings on a fighter jet, or the locusts just flying through the air. So it described the animals or those planes as locusts. You see that? And verse 3, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. And what do scorpions do? They torment, they sting you, right? So that poison, so you know, the locusts or those fighter jets were pretty much doing damage. We're inflicting the enemy. And it says here, and it was commanded them that they, let's read verse 5. I don't want to get that jumps already to another timeline. But Revelation chapter 9 and verse 5. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when it striketh a man. So these the pain and agony that a lot of these soldiers from both sides were going through, they suffer what? Shell shock, which a lot of World War I fighters suffer shell shock, just like in World War II as well. But this is going into World War I with a lot of those soldiers suffer shell shock, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. Now let's get some pictures here. Hold on. Let's go back to this. Matter of fact, before I explain the 5 months, let's go back to this. Now, as you can see, these are pictures from World War I. You can see the hole on this man's face. You know, I guess they had to reconstruct his face. But if somebody was to go through that, what? That'd be excruciating pain. That would be agony that man would be suffering. So a lot of these soldiers fought in World War I, and their faces got disfigured. They were losing arms, limbs, you name it. Their stomachs were blown off. Their heads were blown off. There's pictures that are not even shown here. You know, but look at this. It looks like his face to the left hand right here, his face is like burnt. Oh man. So that was a torment that these men were going through. You know, it's horrific pictures, but hey, so if this happened in World War I, just imagine what's gonna happen in World War III. World War I and II were bad. Just imagine what's gonna happen in World War III. Okay, it's even gonna be it's gonna be a quicker death, more of an excruciating pain as well. Because what? The Most High is gonna melt your flesh. Okay, like the scripture saying. I'll grab it. Zechariah chapter 12. So World War III, and we know America is gonna be taken out by ICBM nuclear missiles. Okay, so let me find this right quick. Okay, Salaki. Is it chapter 12? Melt. Their eyes in their holes. Matter of fact, in holes. I know it's Zechariah. Gotta be Zechariah. Yeah, Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 12. Salaki. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord shall smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Right, because the Israelites are a people before we're a place. You know, because the Lord has scattered us throughout the four corners of the earth. So we're a people before we're a place. We're literally scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Their flesh, and that will be consistent of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. So World War III is going to even be worse than World War I and II. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Now, what's going to be able to do all that? What's going to be able to bring that devastation and destruction? The ICBM nuclear missiles, thermonuclear fire. Okay, and we ain't gotta look at you people any longer. We ain't gotta see the abominations done in the midst thereof. And that's how the Most High is gonna do away with the present world we are living in now. He's gonna bring ICBM nuclear missiles. That's the way America is going out. That's the way a lot of these other countries are going out as well. But America is going to be fully annihilated. That's a fact. See that? And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. So Revelation chapter 9 and verse 5. I'm just going to keep jumping back and forth. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 5. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 5. Salaki. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when it striketh a man. And those 5 months are referring to, let's type in World War I, search that out. Let's go into World War I. Wikipedia, good enough. World War I. Okay, World War I, or the First World War, often abbreviated as WW1 or WW1, was a global war originating in Europe that lasted, that's the bottomless pit, that lasted from July 28th, 1914 to 11 November 1918. No, it's gonna tell you here. There's a treaty, right? It's right here. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 28th of June 1919. So a month refers to what? A year, a span of a year. So we're gonna read it. The Treaty of Versailles, German, okay, was the most important of the peace treaties that brought World War I to an end. So once there's a peace treaty signed, that brings the war to an end. Both sides reach an agreement, and that's it. The treaty ended the state of war between Germany and the Allied powers. It was signed on June 28th, 1919 in the Palace of Versailles, exactly 5 years after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which had directly led to the war. So that's a 5-year period. So a month can refer to a year. A day can refer to 1,000 years. So that's what that's talking about, the 5 years. From 1914 to 1919. And verse 6, and I'm going to stop at verse 6. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 6. And in those days shall men see death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. So the Most High had these men be tormented. And that, you know, the military power back then does not compare, or does not even come nowhere near as close as the military power that the world has now. Nowhere near it. From the German scientists, from the knowledge and wisdom that has expanded since that particular time, you can't compare it. You can't measure it. It's impossible. Showing you that World War III is going to be the last war. Even Albert Einstein said that World War IV is going to be fought with sticks and stones. So that was like pretty much him saying that, look, he's saying that ain't gonna be no World War IV. The World War III is the war to end it all. So it says here, verse 6, Revelation chapter 9 and verse 6, and in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. So even in World War III now, you're going to have 2/3 of our people desire to die. But you know what the Most High is going to do? He's going to leave that spirit inside of your body just to torment your ass. Leave that spirit inside of your body just to torment you. And that's rightfully so, because that's why the Most High allows these 2/3 to keep on becoming worse and worse, because he's going to bring a destruction and devastation so bad that when that time comes, then we're going to have a sigh of relief. Like, no wonder you allowed them motherfuckers to scoff and mock us. You know, because the Most High has got a sense of humor. He's going to allow these 2/3 to continue to scoff and mock us in these other Israelite camps and all these people out here, Esau, Edom, and all these other nations, just to bring a great devastation towards their way. So death is going to flee from them. Even death is going to flee. Most High got power to make death flee from you when you're suffering, when you're going through severe stress and torment. So the locusts refer to those I believe they call them dog fighters. Let's type that in right quick. Well, it says here, I'll read it though. A dogfight is a form of aerial combat. That's what was happening in World War I, that aerial combat between fighter aircraft at short range. Dogfighting first appeared during World War I, but its most famous instance is probably the Battle of Britain during World War II. So the dogfighters were already appearing in World War I, and they used them also in World War II. I thought it was called dogfighters. Well, as you can see, It's like birds. There's even Jake there's a rapper by the name of Master P, and it was like a song, I forgot the name of the song years ago, he did back in the 90s. It was dealing with California, because I believe he lived in like Richmond. I ain't got to go into all that. Richmond, California, one particular time. And he was speaking about the ghetto birds in the sky. The ghetto birds in the sky, California. Another brother died. But anyway, those ghetto, they refer to helicopters as ghetto birds. So what? John the Revelator, just to make an analogy, John the Revelator was referring to the locust as the dog. Now, he didn't know back then that there were these fighter jets, but now we know. He knows now. Now he knows. And we're drawing it out. We're bringing this out. These dog fighters or dog fights or these jets are locusts. It's like insects or birds in the air. Airplane is like shaped like a bird. That's why it got wings, you know, the wings, and as you can see right here in the screen. So they were dropping also bombs out of even before World War II, World War I, they were dropping bombs out of these planes, out of other type of aircrafts as well. So it was, you know, different aircrafts used, I believe, also in World War I. I got to go back into that or go into that. So this is just World War I and World War II. It was just a prelude to what's going to occur during World War III. World War III is going to be the war to end it all. Now, I got this information here by an Edomite. Y'all know, brothers, I like bringing out this information. Okay, well, we could go into Ezekiel 38, 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, Jeremiah 50, 51, Isaiah, I believe, 14 and 13. There's so many scriptures to go and prove this world war. The Isaiah 54 and 16, the nuclear missiles that the Most High used or put in these German scientists or physicists to come up with. The smith to blow up the coals in the fire. But this is from page 16 from the book Facts of Facts from Benjamin H. Friedman, published in October 1954. And if this devil Edomite is telling you this, how much more us? And we're the prophets. We're telling you something before it happens. But the Most High put it in this Edomite's mind to bring out this particular information. This devil is going in on his own people in his book. And I didn't even read the whole book yet. You know, the scriptures speak for itself, though. The scriptures break down the scriptures. Precept upon precept, line upon line. But it's not wrong with using this information from time to time. Anyway, and it's written in Roman numerals here. XVI, right? I believe that stands for page 16. 16, okay. Anyway, this is like the second paragraph. Second and third paragraphs. For this country, meaning America, now to be on the verge of a third world war, from which we cannot emerge a victor. This was written back then. So just imagine now, you got rumors of war, like Yahweh Shah said. What? Rumors of war, Satan against Satan. How can his kingdom stand if Satan cast out Satan? For this country now to be on the verge of a third world war, from which we cannot emerge a victor. Everybody knows that these countries are getting stronger. Matter of fact, I'll read it from here. America is doomed, man. America is doomed. And we know that. This is a history lesson I'm bringing out, and also too dealing with edification on World War I. But this goes dealing with history, World War I history, World War II history, and also World War III. So I'm bringing it all out, but I'm mainly focused on World War I. Oh man, what was I gonna grab here? Oh yeah, Joel. That's what I wanted to grab. Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim he this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Those Gentiles are referring to non-Israelite nations. Once again, those Gentiles in Joel chapter 3, the 9th verse, is referring to non-Israelite nations. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords. Instead of agricultural tools or farming tools, now it's what? Swords. The modern day sword is what? Military action. Military. fighter jets, you name it, the S-400 defense systems, whatever it is, you name it, it's speaking about it. And your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So let all these nations that America has been terrorizing for years say, I am strong. I ain't backing down from a fight now. I'm ready to take on America. That's what these nations are saying. Let the weak say, I am strong. Iran, Russia, Afghanistan, Turkey, Iraq, you name it. Let the weak say I'm strong. China, really dealing with China, Russia, Iran, China, Russia, Iran, and various other countries. So let the weak say I am strong. So that's speaking about these other nations becoming stronger militarily. Because there was one particular time, and I'll grab it here as well. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 4. And they worship the dragon. Now I'm going to just get right into the, fucking little ass monsters. I'm going to get right into the point in this verse. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 4. And they worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast. That's speaking about the NATO and the EU. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him. So who is able to make war with America, with the NATO at one particular time? Who is able to make war with America? Nobody. Even after World War II, this devil went into every country and terrorized every single country. That's why they established over 800 military bases throughout the whole empire, throughout the whole entire globe, should I say, throughout the whole entire globe. So who was like unto the beast? The NATO and the European Union. And NATO was created to counterattack or to fight against Russia. That's why you got those different satellites. Russia came out with the first satellite. It was called a Sputnik. Then America or the European Union or America came out with satellites of their own to see how they were gonna combat one another, see who was in danger of becoming victims of nuclear fire or some type of devastation. So who is able to make war with him? Who is able to make war with America? The answer is what? Nobody. Now these nations are getting stronger and they're not backing down. So it says here, back in the second paragraph to the third paragraph in his book, Facts of Facts. For this country now to be on the verge of a third world war from which we cannot emerge a victor is something that staggers my imagination. I know that nuclear bombs are measured in terms of megatons. So remember, this is back then. A megaton is a term used to describe 1 million tons of TNT. And now these nuclear missiles are even worse than what they were back then. Because you had the atomic bomb, which comes nowhere near the weakest nuclear missile. So just imagine all these nuclear missiles that are being created and developed by all these different countries like Iran, Russia, China, India. I know that nuclear bombs are measured in terms of megatons. A megaton is a term used to describe 1 million tons of TNT. Our nuclear bombs had a capacity of 10 megatons or 10 million tons of TNT when they were first developed. So whoever studies TNT or megatons, you know exactly what we're speaking about. For those that study in that field, when they were first developed, right? Now the nuclear bombs that are being developed have a capacity of 200 megatons, and God knows how many megatons the nuclear bombs of the Soviet Union had. Now they were called the Soviet Union back then, right? Matter of fact, let's grab that scripture. Let me just grab it. They were called the Soviet Union back then. Then they were called Russia. I believe it was the Gorbachev, and Gorbachev was president or so-called dictator. Gorbachev. I believe it was called the Soviet Union. I got to check up on that. So let me just grab Ezekiel 38 right quick. See, prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. And that's what we're doing. Speaking prophecy, man, because we want this kingdom to fucking end. We're tired of this fucking place, man. Prophecy, which a lot of Israelite camps will not go into. or they'll touch upon certain things because they refuse to go into everything. Eat the whole roll. That's what we do here. Eat the whole roll. So now they're called Russia, right? From the Soviet Union to Russia. I want to bring this out right quick. This is okay. Let's see. Let's start at verse 1. Ezekiel chapter 30, but the point is in 4. Ezekiel 38 and verse 1. The word of the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Ezekiel is on this earth, and the reason you know, because the Most High is saying what? Prophesy against them. Reincarnation is absolutely 100% biblical. Ezekiel is on this earth right now. Gog and Magog doesn't refer to the original inhabitants of that land, which are the Japhites or Medii, or Javan or the Japhites, another dark-skinned nation of people that came out of Noah. But it's referring to the people living in that land at the present time, which is who? Russia. The chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog. So the Most High is against Russia, and the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back. So the Most High is going to turn Russia back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth and all thine army. So the Most High is going to bring Russia back to that world, or that Soviet Union warlike mentality. So the Most High is going to bring these devils back. Another Esau of Edomite family, which are the Russians. So he's going to put hook. I believe the word for hook in the Hebrew is wawa. So the Most High Yahweh and Yahweh Shai bringing this Russia back into that world, that Soviet Union, or that Cold War spirit. So he's going to bring them back to put them in remembrance of who they are as mighty men. So of course they're not going back down now. So the Most High, just like he's doing that, bringing them back to that warlike mentality back then, he's going to also intensify and put another spirit in them to say, you know what, man, we're Russia. Yeah, we're Russia. And we're going to blow America off the face of the earth. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And I will turn thee back. So the Most High is putting in Russia's mind and putting them in remembrance of who they really are. That warlike warrior mentality. And I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Elam, which are the Iranians, or Carmania. Type in Carmania, Encyclopedia Iranica, and it'll tell you Persia is Elam. Type it in. Cyrus the Great, Xerxes, they're on this earth too. Type it in. Persia is Elam, Carmania. You can find them also written in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Ethiopia, that's, I believe, one of Russia's allies. And Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer, Turkey, and all his bands. And the house of Gomer of the north quarters, Turkey. Turkey. Okay, the country of Turkey is going to what? Deceive America too, because Turkey is not really in league with America or the European Union. They don't give a fuck about the European Union. Even if they join them, it still won't mean shit. The Most High is going to put that spirit in them to go against this bitch, to destroy this whore. It says here, Gomer and all his bands, oh my bad, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Gomer of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Now let me grab this scripture right quick here. And I believe it's also in Isaiah. I believe this is also in Isaiah, maybe 65. believe I'll definitely find it. No doubt about that. Type in fuel, you bound to find that. This is Isaiah 9:5. And it says this, and it reads, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. And garments rolled in blood. Back in the ancient world, that's how wars were fought. Is with confused noise, sword to sword combat. Now the modern day sword is military. Is militarily. So the modern day sword is going to be fought militarily. I believe that's the word, militarily, but it's going to be fought with fighter jets, ICBM nuclear missiles, you name it. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So there's no prophecy or no historical evidence that tells you that America was taken out by fuel of fire. But World War I, they had fuel of fire. You had also World War II. So how much more World War III? But this, meaning this war, shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So this ain't gonna be an ancient fight. It's gonna be modern day activity, modern day action, modern day war. So it says here, let's jump back to the book Facts and Facts. Third paragraph. What do we face now? If we trigger a world war that may develop into a nuclear war, humanity is finished. And this is exactly what's going to happen at World War III. Humanity is finished. Esau, Edom is going into slavery after that point on. No doubt about that. You can't escape underground bunkers. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Amos 9:2. The angels are gonna come and snatch your ass right out of them underground bunkers. Wherever you at, even in them satellites or whatever, that ain't gonna work. The elites think they're gonna escape, but that's not gonna happen. Why might such a war take place? It will take place as the curtain, yeah, those mushroom clouds, goes up on Act 3. So Act 3 is gonna be and it tells you here, Act 1 was World War I. Act 2 was World War II. Act 3 is going to be World War III. So he's telling you that Act 3 of World War III is going to be the war to end it all. We ain't got to see no more 2/3. We ain't got to be plagued by no more demonic spirits. We ain't got to see none of these people out here. It's going to be World War III to end it all. Let's grab it. Whoa. Definitely know it's a revelation. Oh yeah. My bad. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 12. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. So what woe means destruction. Speaking about World War I why did it mention 3 woes? Because it's dealing with the world wars that have been fought. So there's one more woe to happen, to befall America, to befall this fucking wicked ass cesspool of wickedness, man. One more woe. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. So you see that? World War I, World War II, and World War III. So I think I brought out enough information. How much can you go into? Y'all want to make the video 2 hours long, you know? So and with that, once again, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Maharakak, and double honor to the elders in the Apostle Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from, and all you faithful I can continue pushing, and Shalom. And if I left anything out, Lord willing, I'll put it on the comment board, and I'll just review the video anyway before I upload it. Shalom.